Hey Ashley, hey Sam.
Hey Shirley, how are you?
I'm well.
Good. Glad to hear it. All right, so we'll call to order this July 21st, 2026 meeting of the Town of Bridgewater Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee at 7:34 p.m. So the second order of business on the agenda after the call to order is the approval of meeting minutes. We don't have meeting minutes for the past meeting, so we're going to skip that, table that for next time. Next up is public comment. I do not see any members of the public here, so we'll continue on to new business. So I have three items of business on the agenda for today. One is about committee leadership, one about belonging survey updates, and one about the town council presentation. So in order, we'll start with committee leadership. So Josh mentioned it might have been before you joined, Shirley, but Jane, who has been our secretary for a while, has not been responsive to emails, and her term on our committee has ended, so the secretary position is now open. I also had mentioned at the last meeting that I'm feeling very overwhelmed with all the things that I have to do in my life right now, and I do not feel comfortable continuing as chair of the committee. But I actually was the secretary before I became the chair, and I would love to go back to being the secretary. But that means that somebody else needs to take on the chair role. So I don't know if Shirley and Phil, if you have thought about that at all, whether either of you would be interested in that.
Now maybe we can take it on consideration after tonight's meeting. Someone will mull it over, but Shirley isn't interested.
Okay. Yeah, Shirley, let's I don't know where to go from here, but there's some things to be considered. It's just that it'll be great if you can um provide some wisdom, some suggestions. I think between all of us, you have the most time in on committees, with the exception maybe a close runner-up of Sam. And we can consult each other and see which is the best direction to go in.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll follow up in our next meeting, continue that discussion.
Okay.
All right, sounds like a plan. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the belonging survey, updates on the belonging survey. So I'm happy to report that we have 38 responses to the belonging survey, which is awesome. Shirley and Phil, were you able to table at Juneteenth? I know we didn't have a chance to meet before that.
We did, and our result was five surveys.
Not bad. So those are hard copy surveys?
Those are hard copy surveys. I have them here, and just to give you an idea of the demographics, there are three women, all of whom I think range from 40 something to 82, and two men that blended age of 35. And there's nothing really remarkable about the surveys. I think one of the men were being very cautious in how close to dissatisfied they would circle, and they decided on neutral, and maybe one or two questions they didn't answer. And I think most of them gave away or wrote down their ethnicity. And of the five, one was, well, is distinctively of color, African American, Black. And that was the careful one, as I understand it. That's the way I read it.
Okay, great. Um, is hopefully Josh is listening right now, but if I remember correctly, the hard copies Josh had recommended that we drop off at town hall and that he would be able to enter them into the survey as he has time. Am I remembering
Yeah,
that correctly?
yeah, you can drop them off, Bill. Uh, and then yeah, that should be no problem for me to get take care of there.
Okay. The second floor.
Yep, yep. Second
Okay.
floor, same place you came for to get them.
Okay. All right. Real good. I'll take care of that right away.
And
And
just
the
as a
hours?
reminder, we're not open on Fridays any longer, so it had to be Monday through Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. And Monday through Thursday, what are their hours, just to be sure?
Okay.
The hours like 8 to 4?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you? Yeah, it's 8 to 4.
Okay. I got it. I'd be happy to do that.
Where are the other 38 surveys from?
They
Online?
they're online, yeah. So there's a digital version of the survey which Josh posted on the town website. I think we had talked about publicizing the survey in a variety of places, and we haven't done that yet. So I'm actually pretty impressed that we do have that many responses.
And that's good.
Yeah. I haven't taken a super close look at the data for the online survey yet, but of the 38, 8 identified as men, 30 as women, 33 as white, 1 black or African American, 1 Hispanic, Latino, or Latina, 1 multiracial, and 2 marked other. Majority heterosexual straight, but a smattering of other sexual orientations. And yeah, once the data is all together, we can take a closer look at it. I'm happy to do some analyses with the data, but we'll have to decide when we want to close it. And I definitely don't think we should close it yet. I think we should leave it open for a while and work on publicizing it some more. So yeah, what are everybody's thoughts on ways to publicize? I think we have talked about this briefly once before, but I don't recall if we landed on a particular strategy.
In my view, I think you need to hit the Facebook pages, both the Bridgewater Residents, which has probably 20,000 people, followers, as well as Bridgewater 02324. And also, there is the newsletter that circulates online called Buzz Around Bridgewater. That's Jackie Rose, who is the controller of that. And she's pretty supportive, I think, of this effort. And she might be willing to post it. Her newsletter comes out by email every Sunday. So I think between the residence page, 2 pages, and the Buzz Around, if she'll put it in, would hit a lot of people. And then maybe give that a couple of weeks to come in before you calculate all the data.
And all these links are available on Facebook, Sam?
Facebook, yeah. If anybody, if any of you are on Facebook, you just go to the residence page, probably have a little cover paragraph about what the survey's about, have a link to the survey that comes back to you. And I would suspect that you would get approval. Both of the Facebook pages have administrators, but I don't see any reason why they wouldn't post them. And one of the pages, 02324, Mark Lindy is one of the administrators of that page. He's a town counselor. I think he'd be sure to approve it. And you'd have to send an email to Jackie at Buzz Around asking her to put the survey in again with a little explanatory paragraph about what it's about.
And we never thought about doing it in the town library, did we? Is it available at the town library? Hard copies or?
Well, that's a good idea too.
Yeah,
Oh, someone mentioned the senior center as well.
Yeah, if we're gonna do either of those, we need a flyer for it, and we haven't made a flyer. Um, we certainly could do that. So I am on the Bridgewater Residents Facebook page, so I could post it there. I'm not on the 02324 page, but I'm sure I can become a member because I live in Bridgewater.
Yeah,
And I do subscribe to that Buzz Around newsletter, so I can figure out the
there you
content
go.
for that. Yeah,
You're
so I
all
can take care of those.
you're all set.
But I won't be able to make a flyer for the library and the senior center. So if anybody is interested in doing that, that would be a great step.
Mm.
Well, we could put
Ashley,
a notice in the senior center message, that newsletter that's just coming, that watch out for it. It's available. If she would do it,
Are you saying there's a newsletter for the senior center, or are you talking about the Buzz Around newsletter?
both.
Oh, I didn't know
Senior
there.
center,
Go ahead, sorry.
no, just saying, make it, just make sure that it's posted that this is available and point people to the direction where they can find it. And we will have hard copies at the senior center and buzz around. I'm sure that we can devise something for buzz around.
Be back online, right? So you don't need hard copies. And the senior center, they usually put out a monthly newsletter that's about 14, 15 pages long and probably should be coming out within the next 10 days or so at the end of July, 1st of August. And they might be willing to put a link into that
Yeah, that's
newsletter.
what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, but not
July's
for hard.
already out, I think.
Yeah, but not, you don't need hard copies. I mean, you can put some hard copies out, but if there's a link for people to get to it and submit it, that's all you need.
Right.
Shirley, do you want to? I can write a little short blurb about what the survey is about that we can include with all of this publicizing. But since I don't have access to that senior center newsletter, can you send it to them and ask them to include it?
To senior center?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll take it. I'll take it there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I don't know about the, I do know that the town library also has an email that they send around, I think once a week. So I have no idea if they would include our survey in there, but I can email somebody and ask.
Library director is pretty supportive of these activities, very supportive of the Pride flag and Juneteenth. So I think he might be willing to include it in a newsletter.
Cool.
Who's Sam?
Jed Phillips, library director.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, he would support it. I mean, there's nothing controversial about putting a survey out. It's not partisan. It's getting information. So I think they'd all be willing to do it.
Right. I just meant that the library news. Yeah, what I meant by that is that the library newsletter is really, I only ever see things like events that are happening at the library, whereas it's something a little bit different. So it's possible they might, not want to include something that's not specifically about the library, but worth a shot. I'll email someone.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I think you have a good point, Sam, of try all these methods, wait a couple of weeks, and then go from there.
Yeah, then you can wrap it up and then you can go on to your next agenda item. Presentation.
Yeah. All right, cool. Anybody have any last thoughts about survey?
About deadlines? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I think maybe we'll give them a month because if we keep carrying it, so long. It's August coming up by September something. A September deadline where people are getting all of their thoughts together about what the plans are going to be.
Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe we'll just make it the deadline September 1st. Whole month of August.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. So next up is the town council presentation. So a couple people I think had action items on that. I'll pull it up so I can see where we left off.
What are we going to do about Jane's portion of our presentation?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna have to do it now. It wasn't too much though. Here, let me share my screen. 1 second.
The script was already there, I think.
Yeah. So Jane was supposed to do this slide about what is DEIB. Obviously, I'll update the members page. Oh yeah, Shirley, I still need a photo for you. Let's see. Oh, I did that one. The what we know from Shirley. Oh yeah, that's it. And then last updates to everything else. So there's not too much to do.
How long do we project that this presentation was going to be?
I
15
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't rehearsed it.
Okay.
One comment about that, which I'm sure.
Sure, Ashley, you're aware of being that you're teaching all the time. Because we want to make sure we avoid death by PowerPoint. I've been to some recent presentations at the town council where people are either just reading the slide or whatever's on the slide is unreadable. It's so small that you can't see it. So the audience doesn't benefit from the slide itself. So again, I'm sure you're aware of that, but just to make sure that there isn't too much verbiage on the slides. And people just use the slide as a kind of a cue to talk about whatever's on the slide.
Yeah, most of the slides are set up with that in mind. No, they're hopefully not too terribly wordy.
Yeah, that's, as I said, I'm sure you're aware of it from your years of teaching, but it just came to mind in some recent presentations that some of them were good and some were pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I think that my read of the town council is that they would just be interested in knowing who's on the committee, period. And then
Yes.
anything you're doing, like a survey, then that's all. Because the retention is really poor. But I'm just telling you, that's my take on it. So I would just keep it to a minimum and talk about a few goals, and then that's it.
Okay, that's good.
If you talk more than 5 minutes, I think you lost them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Sam?
What do you got now for slides? How many slides?
19, but most of them have very little on them.
Okay. The rule of thumb is 8 slides and no more than 8 words per slide. 8 by 8. So you've got a lot of cutting to do.
The rule of thumb for town council presentations?
No, PowerPoint in general. It shouldn't be more than 8 slides. And it shouldn't be 8
I guess
words
I see
per
what you're
slide.
saying. I'm used to teaching an hour and a half class, so 8 slides would be way too few for that. So that's where I'm coming from.
I guess you just have to know your audience, and I think what I keep hearing, it shouldn't be more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a
And
little frustrated that I haven't heard that before. I made all these slides.
yeah,
Josh, can you weigh in? What
Yep, I was
exactly?
just jumping in. So, there's no rule. I think what the town council expects is about 15 to 20 minutes. And then they might have some questions, just some follow up. So, you know, I it really just depends on who's doing the presentation and, what
yeah.
kind of information is being presented. It doesn't look like you're and they're actually going to have the information ahead of time because we have to include it in their packet. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to buzz through it in 5 minutes and then be standing there. So so they will give you at least 15, and some have gone a little bit longer. If you look at I think it was back in May. May or June, the CPC did theirs, and theirs went quite a bit longer than most have gone. But we try to do one for at least once a month for since the beginning of the year. So there's some good examples, but from what I can see from your presentation here, Ashley, it looks like it's right on task, and that should be good to, as long as you keep it within that 19 slides, you should be fine. If you want to cut it back a little bit, feel more than free to do so. But like I said, they get their agendas the Thursday before the meeting. So they're gonna have like 4 or 5 days. They're expected to review everything. So they are gonna you don't have to read every word on the slide essentially. Because they're gonna have already done so. But yeah, just work off of that.
Josh, what's the typical time frame? Because it doesn't always have to be the same, right? It
No, no,
depends
like I
on
said,
what you have to present and how well you can keep them engaged. If it's 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 15 minutes, I'm just
no, like I
wondering.
said, it's they go into each one of these with the in mind of 15 minutes for the presentation and then questions from the town councilors afterwards. Um, I think Cultural Council they presented at last week's meeting, and I believe Theo, their chair, only had like 4 or 5 slides, if I remember correctly. And they just had so many questions that it went for 20 minutes. So, like I said, it depends on what they might have it for you. It could go longer than that, but they'll at least give you that. They're not very strict on it. I'll say that because, like I said, Cultural Council, his was very quick, and the last one before that was CPC, and that one went, I think, for 40 minutes just for the presentation. However, they had a lot more information to provide and things like that because their projects are so big. I mean, you guys have done a lot of work in the last couple of years here, so and we haven't had you guys at the town council. So, like I said, they're not going to have a timer or a gavel going off at 15 minutes exactly. They're going to understand that, you have a lot to present. They're, they've asked quite a few times to have you guys there. So, they are going to have questions for you. And I'd say, next year's might not be as, information heavy. Whereas this year it'll be a little bit different. Does that help?
That does help. Thanks, Josh. So, in
Yeah.
your professional opinion, the stuff that I have here about the 2021 surveys, which kind of sets us up for why we're doing the current survey, does that make sense, or do you think that's too much background information?
No, I think it's actually going to be helpful because a lot of the counselors are new. I would say I think Dr. Perry is one of the few that were on the council when they worked on the DEIB. So it will be very helpful for the majority of them because they are newer within the last year or two.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Josh. Very helpful.
Yep. And like I said, the way we set it up is Ashley's going to send us the presentation. The town council clerk, she actually reviews it. And she's not going to put you on a night that they have a packed agenda. So even though we're looking to August for you guys, if we get a bunch of orders or ordinances, or we have a public hearing or something like that, if we anticipate that, it's going to be a long night, they're not going to put you on that. Just for their sake and also so you guys don't feel rushed. So that is taken into consideration. It's not guaranteed that you'll be on for August. I think August is going to be the last time they have one meeting for the month, and then they go back to two meetings. So it's very possible that you guys are on there for September, depending on the workload for August.
Based on waiting for the survey until
The end of August, then it would look like late September would be the best shot.
Okay,
Second,
yeah, that's if you could after this meeting, Ashley, as chair, if you could send that to me, that way I can pass it along to town council. I think they were expecting you guys, and it's not a problem. I just want to have that like paper trail of communication going out to them. That way they're aware and we can move some committees around. But that's not a problem at all. We completely understand.
Okay, that makes sense. So, Josh, you just need me to request a late September date, or do you need the presentation? Because if we're waiting for the
No,
survey, so I just request the September date.
yeah,
Okay.
just send me an email letting me know, or just stating that you guys are waiting for a survey to come back for August at the end of August, and you would like to be considered for September, and that'll be perfect. They'll be really the town council president will be really appreciative of that.
Okay, perfect. What day and time does the town council usually meet?
They meet the first and third Tuesday, and it's they start at 7.
Okay, cool.
So you guys would be, and it can just be Ashley. I mean, if people want to go there to support Ashley, absolutely. But don't feel like you need to have a quorum of members. But you'll be the first presentation after I think they do, the pledge, moment of silence, recognition, and then maybe vote their meeting minutes, and then you guys will be like 7:15 essentially.
Citizens,
Sorry, what was that?
citizens comments comes up early.
Yeah, I'm sorry, citizens comments. Yeah. That's the only thing that might push it a little bit later.
Just to clarify, though, I'm not still going to be chair in September. I'll be chair for one more meeting while we figure out what we're going to do
Right, but if
next.
you're doing it doesn't have to be the chair either. So if this is the presentation you're working on, and you want to go and you're okay with presenting it, then you don't have to be chair for that.
Okay.
What is the date of the August meeting?
Let me see if that's on the website.
August 11.
Thank you. Sorry, I have enough trouble remembering all my committees, so town council falls through the cracks for me. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, so August 11th.
Yeah.
All right, so it's 8 o'clock, so we're gonna wrap up in just a minute here, but what we still need for the town council presentation is I need a picture from Shirley. Francis, hopefully you will be confirmed soon, and then I'll need a picture from you too. I'll take off Jane's information. And then somebody needs to write a little bit about what is DEIB, because it won't be Jane's slide anymore. Is anybody interested in volunteering for that?
I think there's a statement already on the town's webpage that describes DEIB, or when it was formed, there was a statement already made. Might be worth finding that.
That's good to know. Thanks, Sam. Is anybody interested in locating that?
Where would it be? Somewhere.
It could be
No, go
on the
ahead.
page itself. Sure. Pretty hard to find things on the town's webpage, but it's another story.
Well, otherwise we can workshop it.
At the next meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
I think it was defined in the summary report.
I'm trying to find it right now. Page not found. I'm looking.
It's been a long-standing issue, Sam. Finding stuff
Yeah.
on the town website.
Yeah.
They're supposed to have addressed it, but
Yeah, I'm just clicking on DEIB and it comes up page not found. But Shirley, weren't you on the committee that first discussed the whole DEIB idea.
Right?
And there was a statement or
There's a
a
statement in
paper.
the report someplace.
Yeah, there was a statement that came out about what's DEIB and what its purpose was. So
Yes.
if we can find that, we don't have to reinvent
No,
the
no, no.
wheel.
That's why I said this. It's in the summary report.
Yeah.
We could. I just have to look back for the summary report.
All right. Check your files, Shirley. It's probably there somewhere.
All right, well, I'm
Sam, there's
sensitive.
so much stuff.
Yeah, I'm sensitive to time. I don't want to keep us too much longer. So I'll send an email to Josh probably tomorrow with a summary of the things that we discussed, what we're all going to do between now and our next meeting. Let's take a look at our calendars and pick a date for our next meeting while we're all here. Tuesday, August 4th would be 2 weeks from now. Would that work for folks?
I found the DEIB committee information, and so I'll take screenshots of every single thing. You have to go in under committees, and then there's a whole list of vacancies, and then finally there's thing that says list of committees, and there's a drop-down menu. It's definitely not easy, but I'll send screenshots of the at least submission. And
Yeah. I'm wondering, do you have a date on that? When that was published, put online?
I just scanning it right now. I don't see any any date, but there is a description of the committee, a mission and vision statement, composition and appointments, and then members, and those are listed, and then a place to volunteer.
Mm,
And right now it's listed with 5 vacancies. So there's plenty of room for other people.
great.
Really?
Okay, thanks, Francis. Appreciate you finding that and sending it out.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, August 4th, 7:30 p.m. Does that work for folks?
Seems so. I can say yes.
All right. I'll ask Josh to send that out as the next date. All right, so next item on the agenda is old business, nothing there, so move on to any additional items for discussion. If anyone would like to raise anything additional, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, so I will entertain someone's motion to adjourn our meeting for the night. Would someone like to motion?
I
Motion.
motion to adjourn.
All right, and seconded?
Second.
Second, all right, all in favor?
Yay.
Aye.
Great.
All
Have a
right.
good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everyone.